We need specialists. We don't need generic, we don't need commodity, that's everywhere, right? We need somebody who can solve our hard problems, and our problems are extremely difficult.
Our goal is to really just keep solving the problems that our clients bring to us that involve mobility and secure data exchange.
I think people learn better by hearing firsthand how other people are solving problems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for Rackspace Solve New York, Rackspace CTO, John Engates.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rackspace Solve New York. You know what they didn't give me is the clicker. Bring me the clicker as soon as you can, please. So thank you for coming. It's a great audience here. Looks like we have a crowd that's starting to fill in. I see a lot of folks in the back of the room. If you guys want to come up front, there's some space over here to fill in. If you want to make your way around, we have plenty of room. And I have the clicker. Thank you very much. So welcome again to Rackspace Solve. The hashtag Rackspace Solve is up there. My name is John Engates, Jen Gates on Twitter. If you want to email me, it's jengates@rackspace.com. So super proud to be here this morning. Super, great audience and a great day ahead of us. Before we, not clicking, sorry, guys. Will you advance the slides until you get me a clicker that works? So the first thing I want to address is a bit of news that came out this week. Rackspace has been in the press lately. You probably, if you pay attention to us at all, you've probably seen some rumors and some speculation about Rackspace potentially getting acquired or potentially going through some sort of process. We did, a while back, bring a firm called Morgan Stanley on board to help us deal with a few of these inbound interested parties in looking at Rackspace for a partnership, a strategic relationship, or even an acquisition. And I want to say that today, as of Tuesday, we have actually ended that whole process. We are an independent company. We're going to stay Rackspace. We're not going to be part of somebody else. And along with that announcement of sort of ending that process, we also promoted our president to the new CEO of Rackspace. So we're on good ground with our path forward as an independent company, and we've got a great leader at the helm of Rackspace in Taylor Rhodes. Taylor is a 7-year Racker. He's been with us a long time, so he's not a newbie. He's not a new face at Rackspace. I've worked with him for years. He led our European operations for a number of years, and he's been back in the U.S. for a while as the president since early this year, and he's a great leader, and we're very proud to have Taylor at the helm. As we told Wall Street, we think that our path forward is the best one to maximize value for customers, for shareholders, for Rackers. The path that we're on, the strategy that we're looking ahead to, we're very excited about, which is really what I want to talk about today. Some of my morning keynote is about what we're doing in our strategy going forward. So Rackspace Solve is all about giving you guys insight into what that is, what kinds of products and strategies and services that we're planning to launch, and how we're helping customers solve their technical challenges with those. So Rackspace Solve, I don't know if you know this, but this is kind of a series of events. We started in San Francisco in July. This is obviously New York, and we're headed to Chicago next month, and more to come. We're going to do a bunch of these events over the next year or so. In San Francisco, we kicked it off, and we had a few themes that I think emerged in San Francisco that a lot of our customers and our people in the audience were really curious about, or how they were addressing speed and scale and flexibility. These themes kind of kept coming up throughout the presentation, almost all of the presentations, in fact. And speed, I think, is helping customers perform faster, get their time to market reduced so they keep up with the competition. And scale helps our customers adapt very quickly to unexpected events or changing markets. Kind of the needs of a modern company that's trying to address a global market. There's just no end to the need for scale, and flexibility helps them adapt very quickly. They're doing all this, though, with technology. They're using various technology stacks and platforms and capabilities to help them with all these emerging themes in our industry. I do want to spend just a couple of minutes talking about some things we're particularly excited about. I don't want this day to turn into a big, infomercial on Rackspace, but there's a few things I want to tell you about that I'm particularly excited about. All the things I'm going to speak about have been really driven by customers. Customers challenged us to solve some of their problems, and these are some of the things that we're bringing to market to solve these challenges. So first of all, cloud computing. That term, gets thrown out a lot, and people define it in a lot of different ways. Infrastructure as a service, private cloud, cloud computing, software as a service, all of these different capabilities. What we realize when you think about the purest infrastructure clouds is they don't manage themselves. They don't, you're not really solving any problem with just that raw infrastructure alone. What you need is the capabilities, the support, the management, all of the things that make it work for whatever you're trying to solve. And that's what we've been doing at Rackspace for 15 years. We've been managing infrastructure for customers across the globe. We've been helping customers be successful in whatever they're building on top of Rackspace. And what we're starting to see is this new concept or new segment of the market emerging around the idea of managed cloud. So, historically it's been sort of an unmanaged infrastructure commodity, but today we're starting to see customers come to us and say, please, can you help us solve some of our challenges around managing this cloud infrastructure? We've taken that to heart, and we've really repositioned our brand and our company around this idea of managed cloud. So you'll see on this next slide, the logo has actually changed. We've done this throughout our history. When things change in our industry, Rackspace adapts, and sometimes we actually brand the company around the things that we're excited about. And managed cloud, is probably the number one priority at Rackspace right now. It's really what we're thinking about in every different facet of our company. And we're trying to figure out how we apply expertise and Racker talent and the things that we're doing for one customer applied to all of our customers so that they can all be successful. So, the first wave of cloud computing was unmanaged, it was DIY, it was those people that rolled up their sleeves and wanted to learn everything themselves and tackle it all by themselves. We think the next wave of cloud computing will be by companies that probably are willing to sign up for a little help on that journey. And managed cloud is starting to permeate everything we do. I mentioned this cuts across every aspect of our business. If you look at this chart, you look at things like our dedicated servers, our public cloud, private cloud, the cloud office products for email and applications, managed virtualization, storage, all of the different areas of our company sort of fall under that umbrella of a managed cloud. And we're trying to make that more coherent, more easy for our customers to adapt as they move through these different form factors of infrastructure. And it's not just us recognizing this demand for managed cloud. I mean, we've been on the forefront of sort of building this, but the industry is starting to pick up on this as well. And so there's a very respected industry analyst group called Gartner. You probably all know Gartner. They have published recently their first Magic Quadrant around what they call cloud-enabled managed hosting. And cloud-enabled managed hosting, that's kind of a mouthful. I've had to practice saying that. We call it managed cloud. I think it's a little easier, and over time, hopefully, the world sort of uses that simple terminology. But we've emerged as a leader in cloud-enabled managed hosting in both the US and the European quadrant. This, if you want to zoom in on it, that's a great place to be, right up there in the right-hand quadrant. I love that position, and we're very proud to be recognized not only as the leader, but also that the industry is recognizing that there's this new category emerging of managed cloud computing. So within that context of managed cloud, there's also some new capabilities that we're bringing under that umbrella. One that we're particularly excited about, that a lot of customers have been asking for a long time, is this idea of bare metal servers in the cloud. So, historically, cloud computing has been virtualized. It's been something that you're sharing machines with other customers. Sometimes you're on the same physical box with a VM separating you from your other tenants on that machine. Well, on metal is something we introduced to break through some of the barriers or the challenges that people have had with those virtualized multi-tenant servers. These are single-tenant machines. You get the whole machine. It's a physical server. There's no hypervisor. And it's really something that's been designed to look and feel and act like a cloud server. It uses the same APIs, the same interfaces, the self-service aspect of it, the very fast provisioning time, all the same as a cloud server you would expect, but no hypervisor. They're also optimized for very specific workloads. What we also find is that people in the public cloud don't go to bare metal servers just because. They go there because they're facing some particular challenge, whether it be the need for more RAM, the need for more CPU, the need for more I/O performance. And these machines come in some very cool optimized flavors, like a server that has 0.5 terabyte of RAM, or a machine that has a tremendous amount of IOPS for a database workload. So these are optimized machines that, again, you use like a cloud server, you use in the same context as a traditional cloud server, and really I think this is going to be a game changer for a lot of companies. We announced these a couple months ago at GigaOM Structure Conference. They're tremendous. There's been tremendous interest since then, and we've launched them in our Virginia data center, and they will be in all of our data centers over the next few months. So look forward to more on Metal. You'll hear more about it a little later in one of our presentations as well. Another part of the managed cloud story at Rackspace is the developer audience. So we didn't want to create this sort of managed cloud story and forget about the developer. The developer is nowadays really driving a lot of the decisions around what to buy, what kind of cloud infrastructure to use, and where to deploy. And so Developer Plus is a program we created to give developers a chance to try out Rackspace for free for a year, a substantial amount of resources that they can go and use for whatever they want to use it for. And the other unique aspect of Developer Plus is they're being supported by developers. It's not the same kind of support that Rackspace has done in the past. This is developer-focused support. So people using the APIs, people writing code against the Rackspace portfolio of cloud applications, they may need a different flavor of support. So we created Developer Plus, and it's supported by our developer relations group. They want to make it a very uniquely developer experience. So we're very excited about Developer Plus. And more to come on that. If you're interested in that, there's actually a table up here. I should mention the Solutions Pavilion is what we call it, and it's right up here on the balcony. So during the breaks, we'll have a chance to go spend time with the rackers that are actually driving a lot of these initiatives. The last thing I'll mention, sort of in terms of what we've been building, is data stores or databases or big data. You can lump it all into those categories, but data is such an important aspect of every application that our customers are building. We've spent a lot of time sort of investing in those areas, and so cloud databases recently got a couple of new flavors of the MySQL platform, Percona and MariaDB. Object Rocket, which is our Mongo service, and now has a Redis option, and a lot more to come in terms of data. Again, speak to the guys upstairs if you're interested in talking about Rackspace and data services. So let's switch gears a little bit, and let's go back to talking about what's going on today. So again, I mentioned this is all about learning about the cloud. And there are more than one way to learn about the cloud. This is the way I think that a lot of consumers learned about the cloud this summer.
It went up to the cloud.
You can't get it down from the cloud?
Nobody understands the cloud. It's a mystery.
I'm pretty sure he's right that nobody understands the cloud outside of this room, because it is a mystery. People are doing things out there and getting in trouble for what they post in the cloud, and it's crazy. But look, there's more than one way to learn about the cloud. It's not just Cameron Diaz educating us on cloud computing. We think that there's better ways. We think that there's actually two ways that you'll learn about the cloud today. One is by listening to all the great presentations. The speakers that are going to be here today represent a variety of companies that are thought leaders, they are innovators, they are people doing really creative things on the internet. That's one aspect of it, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. The other way I mentioned is the rackers that are here, the managed cloud experts, the people that know this technology inside and out and can help you one-on-one. They're here in the Solutions Pavilion. They are ready to engage on a lot of different topics, and they are just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many more rackers back at headquarters and in our various offices around the globe that are ready to help you solve a lot of these challenges that you face across all the different spectrum of public and private cloud and security and digital and a lot more. So let's talk about let's talk about innovation for a second. So, like most of you here, there's a lot of companies that we hear from that are facing tough challenges. Challenges, they want to innovate. They want to do things differently. This is what they tell us. They want to go faster, they want to get to market more quickly, and they want to take advantage of new technologies. So we're going to cover a lot of different areas in how we're helping those companies with those challenges. They cut across the big data area, the containers, DevOps, digital, private cloud. We'll hear a lot about the companies that are taking advantage of these technologies, and here are some of them. So SumAll is a great company. They are a massive data platform for all kinds of social networks and publishing networks. They basically ingest a lot of information about those and then give you reports and metrics and data that make it useful for your business to analyze what's going on out there. So the CEO and founder of SumAll, Dane Atkinson, is here to talk about how they're using MongoDB and ObjectRocket and how that's making a difference in their business. AppBoy is here. AppBoy handles massive amounts of data, and they use our ObjectRocket platform. They're also using our DevOps capability to help them run their applications at scale. Docker is here. Docker is probably one of the hottest companies in one of the hottest spaces right now, containers. So they're going to be here to talk about the future of applications and how applications are moving into containers and how that will change everything. Digitas LBI is here. Digitas is one of the hottest and coolest digital agencies. They're a company that has worked with Rackspace for a number of years, but they do some really cool stuff, very creative, and they're going to tell us how they're pushing the envelope on digital and social and connected devices. And Digitas is going to tell you about all the big ideas and the things that they're building on top of Rackspace. Under Armour is here, a great company. Everybody knows Under Armour nowadays. We're really excited to have Under Armour, a very great Rackspace customer. They're going to tell us about their history, how they got to where they are today, and about all the success they're having and how they're using Rackspace to solve a lot of their challenges. And there's a killer video that you won't want to miss on the Under Armour presentation. Rackspace has a few folks speaking today. You'll meet a few Rackers. One of the people that will be speaking is a lady named Melissa Gray. Melissa's been with Rackspace for quite a number of years, and she's going to tell you about a lot of the cool things that we're doing in the area of data centers at Rackspace. Michelle Bailey, a analyst, a researcher from 451 Research, is here to tell you about the journey from the private cloud through to the public cloud and how a lot of companies are taking that journey. And also how public or private cloud is playing a bigger role in a lot of environments. So we have 3 Rackers that will be representing OpenStack and VMware and Microsoft flavors of private cloud, and Michelle will do a panel to interview those Rackers. James Staten, another analyst, will be here today. He is really a visionary in terms of the analyst community and around how cloud is evolving. He's going to tell you about what he calls second stage cloud and how that will shape a lot of the decisions that bigger companies are making as they start to embrace cloud computing. And last but not least, CloudMine. CloudMine is a company focused on digital. So these are all the people that are going to be, CloudMine is a company focused on mobile. I said digital. Focused on mobile and the secure delivery of mobile applications. So these are all the companies that are going to be up here on the stage today. Very excited to have them here. They have great content. I've seen a lot of the presentations they plan to present, and they are very, very compelling. So today, collaboration, I think, is the key. It's the message that I think you should take when you engage with your fellow attendees and also the Rackers and the people that are speaking today. Start a great conversation today. Dig into something that's challenging your company. That's how most pressing problems are really solved nowadays, is really a simple conversation. We've seen that again and again at Rackspace. Sometimes it just starts with an email or an idea in the hallway. That's how OpenStack got started. OpenStack got started by a conversation between a Racker and an employee at NASA. NASA and Rackspace started OpenStack, and it all started with an email about what was possible. What could we go build if we put our heads together and built an open platform for cloud computing? Same thing with Open Compute. Open Compute was Facebook reaching out to Rackspace and a few others and getting a conversation going about open hardware and open data centers and the ideas of sort of taking that out there and making it and sharing it with the world. And ObjectRocket, the platform that runs MongoDB and Redis at Rackspace. The founders of ObjectRocket needed a platform to run a mobile application. It all started with a simple requirement, and then it turned into a company, and then it turned into a bigger and bigger platform. And today, I think it's your turn to have those kinds of conversations. It's your turn to share, it's your turn to innovate, and it's your turn to solve.